Hello my friends, Henry Olson here again live in the Facebook group. It's been a long time, long summer, 2 months with the kids home, but now we are finally back to school and I'm going to be much more active in here now again since it's easier for me now when I don't have to be a full-time dad the whole time. Not that I don't enjoy being a full-time dad. So let me just make sure that my computer doesn't fall off the table here now. Okay. Okay. We are live again. So what I want to do now is just kind of give you guys a little update and just let you know that I'm kind of back. And then I want to talk about a couple of questions that I got from my students, my Super Simple Guitar members. Let me just see here if everything's working properly. Okay, everything seems to be working properly. So today I'm going to be talking about Steve's question that he asked me a long time ago. And Steve's question was, when are you a guitar player? Like, how long do you need to be playing before you can actually kind of say that you know how to play the guitar? I'm sorry you guys, the stand that my computer is on is tilting downwards. When I was testing it wasn't doing that. Then of course now that I hit the live button it's tilting downwards. But we're going to work through this. So Steve wanted to know, my friend Steve, when are you a guitar player? Because there's so much to learn. There's the chords, there's the strumming, there's pentatonics, soloing, technique, music theory. There's all this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. And I'm also going to talk about a couple of questions that my student Jonathan asked, Jonathan Moore. And he was asking about bar chords, how to start playing them, whether to practice power chords before you move into learning bar chords, and how to keep the pick from falling out of your hand. So again, I'm really sorry guys, my computer is literally almost falling down, and it wasn't doing that while I was testing. You see, this is what happens when you go live. But let's just get through this. So, my friend Steve, the truth is that you never really you're never done. Like, you're never gonna feel like you're good at playing guitar because there's always the next kind of challenge waiting for you. You're never done. And that's the nice part of it, is that there's always something to learn, there's always something to do, and you always get to keep growing, and growing feels really good, right? It would be really boring if you could just say that you're done and that's it, no more guitar because now I conquered this beast, right? So it's good that you never really feel like you're done. With that being said, of course you kind of do want to have goals and develop in a kind of a structured way that makes sense. So what I would say is, first of all, you want to be able to, of course, be able to switch through chords fast enough, right, to the point where you can actually strum through songs. Okay, so you want to get your smooth chord changes going. And just a question, guys, can you guys hear me all right? Is the sound okay? Oh, I can see Doug already commented. Good morning, my friend Doug. Good morning, Roger. I see my friend Glenn is here. My friend Michael's here. Welcome to Super Simple Guitar, Michael. Glad to have you on board. So, okay, just to get back to what I was saying. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for the thumbs up, Glenn. Yeah, so you want to get those smooth chords going. You want to get a nice strumming pattern going while you play so that everything moves smoothly, right? And you want to be able to kind of have other people be able to sing to it. Either you sing to it or have somebody else sing to it, because then it means that you're kind of playing in time. There's a flow to your playing. It's not, oh, let me get to the next chord. It's a nice, right? You want to have that flow happening, right? So of course you want to have that going for you, and then slowly move on to bar chords, power chords, and then once you kind of have a stable foundation going and you can play through chord progressions smoothly, that's when I would move on to kind of learning the pentatonic, right? Your first pentatonic shape, learning how to apply that scale to different chord progressions, and so on. So let me see if I can see any comments here. Okay, so that is what I would say to you, my friend Steve. You're never done. It's a constant growing process. We're always growing. We're always getting better. Oh wow, I think I can actually maybe even see comments here on with my software. Oh wow, that's cool. All right, so I have to give you guys a little backstory. So I was about to go live. I hit the live button, and then of course technology never works. So I had to update the software, then I had to go into the group and update the settings group to let the software talk to Facebook. I spent like an hour just trying to be able to even be here for you guys. So now I'm discovering new things within the software as I'm doing this live. So thank you for your patience, and it's really cool because I can actually see your comments really nicely now. Okay, so that's my kind of short reply to Steve. And now I want to get into, somebody says, been there. Oh, I can't see the name of who said that, though. That's a little bit weird. Oh, okay, Michael says, been there. Okay. Oh, yeah, we've all been there. But that's technology. We love it and we hate it at the same time. Okay, so now I want to get into Jonathan's questions, and I'm going to be doing this more often, especially for my members of Super Simple Guitar. Your questions are my top priority, and that's what I'm going to be confronting before I confront anything else in the live streams. And I'm going to be doing these at least once a week. I really want to get into my live stream flow. Okay, so Jonathan was asking about playing bar chords, and because in my book I talk about movable bar chords, right? Because you have the A shape that you can move around, right? So he was asking whether to first play A and then push it ahead, and he was asking the same thing about the E, because the E shape is also movable, right? If you add that bar, because you can see within here, we could play it like this, and you actually kind of have a bar chord in here. It's just that you don't need to bar these strings, right? So Jonathan was asking about how to best approach playing these bar chords and moving them around, right? So if you can't, how many of you guys in here already can play bar chords and you feel comfortable playing them? It's a smooth process. Just let me know in the comments. We can get a little conversation going in here too. So what I recommend is I always practice the bar chords with a C. So I go from a C to a F, right? Oh, I can see Kathleen is in here. Hey Kathleen, nice to see you. Okay, Douglas knows how to play it. So a lot of people know how to play the bar chords. A lot of people don't. So what I recommend is going from a C major into a F, right? And if you're going to play that A shape that's movable, right? What I practiced as a beginner was, instead of playing it like this, you could bar down with your ring finger on the second, third, and fourth string, or even with your pinky if you're able to do it. Can you guys hear the guitar okay? So either you could kind of just practice just getting used to going into that A, right? Or you could try to really practice using your ring finger to bar down on these strings and then move up and down the neck like that. How many of you guys in here are able to do that? Can you do that, or is that hard? And when you go for this movable shape, do you play the A chord and then move up and down, or do you play it the way that I was showing you and how I normally tend to play it? Just out of curiosity. So as far as the F, I would practice just going from C to F, just to get your fingers used to that shape, right? Get your fingers used to it. Get used to kind of moving it around a little bit. Like Proud Mary is a great song to practice that. You can go, right? It's all with just this one shape. So I'm just moving this one shape, right? Up and down. Okay, thank you for the comments, my friends, Kathleen. So practice that. Another really important thing that I haven't said yet in this live stream about bar chords is that a super simple hack, but it's oftenly overlooked, is having a really great setup on your guitar, right? Having the strings be nice and low, okay? Because that's just going to make the guitar easier to play. And the way you do that is back here at the bridge, right? You can loosen the screws here, and then that will bring the action of the guitar down. Or the truss rod here, if you tighten it, it will become more straight. If you loosen it, it'll bend, right? So the best thing to do is not to do it by yourself, but just take it somewhere and tell them that you want nice low action and have them do it for you. That's what I'd really recommend. The song Kathleen is asking is Proud Mary. I teach that inside the membership too. So those of you who are members, just go to Proud Mary, and then I teach the, right, that thing. Don't walk, don't run. Yeah. So which way to turn the screws to put the action down is you loosen them. So as you loosen the screws, sorry about that, when you loosen the screws, the action goes down. When you tighten the screws, it goes up, right? But it really is a balance between adjusting the bridge and adjusting the truss rod. And it takes time, because when you adjust the truss rod a little bit, it needs some time to get used to being in that position. And then it kind of bends back. So you need to give it time. It's a game with the time. So the best thing would be to really just take it to your local, if you have a local person, a local music shop, and have them do it for you, okay? So that's how I would attack the bar chords, okay? Low action on your guitar, then practice just the C to the F, get that shape under your fingers, and then either like this, just kind of go for it, or what I prefer to do is play the A shape, right? The movable A shape. I talk about all of that in the free picture chord book. If you guys actually read it, there's a lot of good information in there if you actually read it. So you can move this, okay? I also teach that in my course, Master the Guitar Fretboard in 6 Simple Steps, where I show you how to play up and down the neck just using these 2 shapes, right? And then modifying them. Because, for instance, this major chord you can turn into a minor chord just by removing your middle finger. So I went from a G major to a G minor. You can just release your pinky, and then now you have a G7. You can release your pinky and your middle finger, and now you have a G flat 7. A G minor 7, sorry, a G minor 7. So there's tons of stuff that book teaches you. If you haven't downloaded it and actually read it, then supersimpleguitar.org, it's free. You can just download it and read it. So, okay, so that was one question that Jonathan had. Jonathan's other question was open power chords. So he was asking whether it's bad to go from learning open chords straight to bar chords. And he would prefer, thank you for the heart, my friend. And he would prefer to, or he wanted to know whether it's bad to just go straight from open chords to bar chords, or whether he should. Thank you for saying that the stuff in the book is great. I worked really hard on it. And then the course, the Master the Guitar Fretboard in 6 Simple Steps, I'm basically explaining what's in the book in that course. So I'm talking you through it too. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out too. So yeah, he wanted to know whether it's good or bad to just skip playing power chords and just go straight to bar chords from open chords. So what I would do is I would just play with it all, right? So first you want to get a good grip on your open chords. You want to make sure that you can switch between those chords easily, right? It has to flow. Your basic chords have to flow before you even think about going into power chords and bar chords, right? So once you can play open chords nicely, definitely play around with those power chords, and then move into your bar chords. And then at the beginning, this is how I learned it and how I tell my students to do it. Just practice the bar chords for 5 minutes a day. Just go from that C to the F, C to the F. Practice that every day for 5 minutes, right? And then move on to the next thing. And then maybe in the middle of your session or at the end of your session, give it another couple of minutes, just so your fingers start to get a feel for that. And then again, if you did the previous step where you lowered the action, and also if you put light strings on your guitar and low gauge strings, it'll also be easier to play and easier to get those bar chords. So if you're on an acoustic guitar, I would go for 10s, right? 10 gauge. The standard is kind of 12, but if you put on 11s or 10s, your guitar is going to be softer and it's going to be easier for you to, let me see if I can get my guitar into the screen here. It's going to be easier for you to play those bar chords, right? Okay, so that's super important. These are small little hacks that really, really work. Are 9s okay for beginner? If you're on electric guitar, 9s are great. I also have 9s most of the time on this guitar. The only downside with 9s, it's not even a downside, but the only kind of problem that I sometimes have with 9s is that if you're playing chords, it's easy to bend the chords, and then that bend the strings while you're playing the chords, and then that puts the guitar out of tune. Right? So if you're playing this chord, it looks perfect, right? But if I slightly, because I'm applying too much pressure or I'm really getting in there, if I'm bending those strings, they'll get bent out of tune, right? And that we don't want that. And that happens much more easily if you're using lighter, thinner strings than if you're using higher gauge like 10s, right? So there's always a balance. But I love to use 9s on my electric and 10s or 11s on the acoustic. You lose a little bit of tone, maybe. It's not as fat sounding, but it's easier to play. You want your guitar to be easier to play, especially in the beginner phase, right? It has to be easy to play. Okay, so I hope that covered that. What else did I want my friend Jonathan to know? Okay, here we go. Pick. So Jonathan's pick, when he plays, it falls out of his hand a lot, or he has to readjust it. How many of you guys have that problem? Let me know. I definitely had that problem for years. So Jonathan, I know that you watched my course where I talk about how to hold your hand, how to put the pick in. You watched all that. And I know that the pick still kind of moves out of position and everything. And that's totally normal. You just have to know that's totally normal. There's no way of getting around that. At the beginning, then the more you play, the more you practice, the more experience you get, the less that's going to happen and the more control you're going to have, okay? So don't give yourself a hard time. Just trust the process. Keep working on it. And it'll get easier and easier, okay? So that covers all of the questions that I wanted to cover today from my friend Steve and from my friend Jonathan. Is there anything that you guys that are here with me live would like me to talk about? Oh, do you have a string brand you recommend? Are you asking about electric or acoustic guitar? I'll just tell you both. I even have a YouTube video where I talk about strings. But for electric, I like the brand Elixir. No, sorry, other way around. I like Slinkies. So Slinkies 9. It's like a purple pack, 9s. Oh, my phone's ringing. It's my wife. Let me just tell her I'm going to call her back in just a second. Hi, baby. I'm doing a live stream. Can I call you back? I don't know. I'm doing a live stream. Like 6 or 7. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Okay, don't worry about it. Alright, see you later. Pussy. Ciao, ciao. Okay, so answering the phone while you're doing a live stream. That's a first for me, but I did it. It's my wife. I love my wife. When she calls, I have to answer. So, okay, I see. Acoustic. Okay, so for electric guitar, I said I said Slinkies. They're purple. There's a YouTube video. Type Henry Olsen guitar strings. You'll find the video. And for acoustic, Elixir. I love Elixir. They're 3 times more expensive than all the other strings, but I love them. They're great. You just get Elixir strings. You'll love them. Either 10s or 9s. 10s or 9s. Oh, sorry. 10s or 11s. I got totally confused there. For electric, 9s. For acoustic, 10s or 11s. Okay, what's the easiest way to learn note location on the entire fretboard? I've got the 6th and 1st string learned. The 6th and the 1st. Yeah, okay. I will talk about that before we end this up. Let me just see who asked that. Douglas. Douglas, is Doug a member at Super Simple Guitar yet? I don't think so. If you want to join, let me know, my friend. I'll give you a good deal. I'll send you a book and a t-shirt too. Alright, so let me get this one for you. So you learned the 6th string, right? And automatically the 1st string. So that means that you know the musical alphabet, which is a really good thing, and it is very helpful to know that, of course. So to know where all the notes are on the fretboard, you need to use the octave shapes, is what we're going to call them. So the octave shapes go like this. Let me just see if I can get my guitar into screen here really nicely. So we're starting here on the note G, right, on the 6th string. So the next one is here, right? And this shape here is octave. We just did octave in G with the note G, right? So this is the first one. Then we can continue our path downwards. That's the next one. Then, where we left off here, we continue our path upwards. See that? Then we can go to this one and continue. Then we can go here. And now we're back at G. So we just did our entire fretboard, 12 notes, right? So what I just did now is I played every single G that is on the guitar fretboard from here to here. Okay, there's still the open G, which I did just play properly. There's still a G further down the neck, but within here I played every single G, right? So if you remember this shape thing here, you will literally be able to locate all of the G notes on the fretboard, right? Because once I get here, it just repeats itself, right? So you have to remember where these octave shapes are. So let me teach you that now. And I have these PDFs inside the membership of Super Simple Guitar. So I have all this stuff printed out and ready to go for my members in the Master the Guitar Fretboard course. So we're going from the 6th string to the 4th string, and now I'm on the 3rd and the 5th fret. Sorry, from the 6th to the 4th. Then I'm going from the 4th to the second string, and this never changes. Whether I'm doing it with the note F, whether I'm doing it with the note A, these shapes never change, and the distance between them never changes either. Okay, so right, 3rd fret, 5th fret. Now I'm going from the 5th fret, 4th string to the 8th fret, 2nd string. See that? Now I'm going from here up here. 8th fret, 5th string. Now I'm going down here. 8th fret, 12th fret. Now I'm going here. 12, 15. Okay, and that never changes, right? It's hard for me to play because I'm holding the guitar like this. I normally don't sit like this, so that's why it looks like I'm. Anyways, so if you remember that, you can do that with any note. You can do it with A, with B, with C. It doesn't matter, right? And then you can always use that to find your way back home and get back to the 6th string. And then you, of course, memorize the 6th string so you will know what the note is. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? My friend Doug, let me know. All right, my friends. So I guess I'm going to sign off now. I feel like it's been a nice little session. It feels good to be back. Is there anything else that you guys need help with? Feels good to be back. I just moved the logo there. I'm not even sure how I did that. Oh, there we go. Does that make sense, Doug? I hope that makes sense. If I put my guitar down on my lap, you won't be able to see it. But you just really need to remember these patterns, right? And the distance between them. And then once you know that, you can do it. You can do it with F. Right? You can do it with A, with whatever note you want to do it. Because the patterns and the shapes of the patterns never change. You just adjust them depending on what note you're starting from, right? Okay. Thank you, Henry. You're very welcome, my friend. Okay, that's about that. I hope that this has been helpful for you guys that have tuned in live here. Thank you for being here. Those of you who are watching the replay, thanks for checking out the replay. And I will see you guys very soon. I'm back. We're going to be doing more of this stuff. And yeah. All right, I'm going to call back my wife. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys very soon. All right. Bye-bye.